This is the plaintiff, Jose Vasquez. He says he parked his car in his housing complex, and the defendant illegally had the thing towed because he thought it was an abandoned car. He admits his car could have used a car wash because it was pretty dusty, but his plates and registration are up to date, and the defendant had no right snatching his car the way he did. He doesn't have the $500 to get his car back and is now suing the defendant for the car's blue book value of $2,500. This is the defendant, Leandro Gonzalez. He says he was called by the plaintiff's leasing office because the guy parked his car in someone else's spot and he towed it. He told the plaintiff to pay the fine and he would get his car back, but he refused. Unfortunately, the car sat in his yard for 45 days and it went to auction, and he's sorry, but he followed the letter of the law, and here they are. He's accused of not giving a guy a break.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that the defendant illegally towed his car because he thought the car was abandoned. It was not, and now he wants $2,500. But the defendant says the plaintiff parked his car in another tenant's parking spot illegally, and he had every right to have it towed. It's the case of going toe to toe.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Vasquez, what's going on?
I parked my vehicle in a place where I live. And it was on Friday, and I had a visitor that came over, and she parked in my spot, and I parked in my neighbor's place where he parked before.
What do you mean where he parked before?
He was my neighbor, and he had moved out.
So that's not his space.
It's not space; it was empty.
Okay.
And he goes, "Go ahead and."
Well, he can't go ahead because he doesn't have the space because he doesn't live there anymore. You're saying, right?
So I kind of.
So you kind of knew that space was empty, so you parked there. Go on.
Right, and when I came out on Monday morning, it was gone.
When had you parked it?
On Saturday.
Okay.
No, Friday. I'm sorry. Friday.
Okay.
And then Monday, I went after she left. It was Monday.
After who left? Your guest?
My guest.
Okay.
I went out there to go check my car, and it was gone, and I thought they had stolen it. So
Why would you think that? Why wouldn't your first thought be, I got towed?
Because there's no reason for them to tow it.
Who's no reason? Okay, hold on. Stop. What kind of building is this?
It's an apartment complex.
Okay, and do people all have assigned parking?
Right, and then there's
so
also...
the building is, do you rent or are they condos?
Rent.
All right, so they know if there's a vacancy because their business is to rent them. So they know that the space is supposed to be empty and they see a car there. Mm-hmm. Right. So did you ever speak to them and say, hey, while the space is empty, can I park my car there because I have a guest this week?
No.
Okay.
But there is a place where there's guests.
Yeah, but you didn't park there.
No, because
right.
they do.
And you didn't have your guest parked there.
No, because they tow your vehicles because she came late at night. The office is closed. And in order to park there...
No, but I mean, okay, so if you parked your car there for her on a Friday, on Saturday, did you go to the management office?
No.
Okay, on Sunday, did you go to the management office?
No.
Okay, well, then you're the risk taker I think you are. And then what happened? On Monday, your car got towed.
It's gone, so I called the police department.
Because you thought it was stolen.
And I called the towing, they had it, so... I told them, okay.
Your signs are all over the place, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have a contract with them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I asked them, do you guys have it? He says, yes. So I went over there, and they wanted $500, and all I had was $300. I go, can you guys work with me? I live there. How can you guys? My car is not abandoned. They took it because they said it was abandoned. So I live there. The car's registered in my name. I got driver's license.
Why would they think it was abandoned? Do you think?
I really don't know. I have no. I really.
Was it dirty and dusty? Or does the word abandoned just mean it's parked in a place that it shouldn't be and left there for 4 days?
It was dusty. It was
Go on.
Dusty.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 2006 Nissan.
Okay, so go on.
And I offered
So at that point, the price was $500 because what? Storage?
Because of the weekend. Weekend, it's much.
Oh, so when had it been towed?
They towed it on August 6th.
Okay, that's a Saturday. So how much was the tow and why was the bill $500 the very next day?
Usually Monday through Friday.
Oh, he didn't contact you the very next day. He contacted you on the Monday.
It occurred Sunday storage.
It incurred
Monday
the storage for Saturday, Sunday. Well, you towed it Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
So for Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, and then he he reaches out to you Monday?
Yes, ma'am.
And he doesn't have $500, he has $300.
No, ma'am. Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
And so you try to negotiate with the tow company. How'd that go?
Not good.
No, because they're
were-
holding all the marbles. That's how it always goes with the tow company.
I went back to the leasing office. I told them, why did you guys call? They said that we didn't call. And they, are you guys sure? Because they took my vehicle. I live here. How can they do that? I live here. I just got the vehicle a few months ago, and I'm trying to get back on.
You're very self-righteous for a person who parked in someone else's spot. That's not your spot. You're not allowed to park there, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I suppose.
What do you mean? Like, that's like so clear.
I'm not parked in the red or in handicap or fire hydrant.
No, you're parking in a spot that's supposed to be empty without permission to park there.
Right.
They don't know that. I don't know. Do you, like, is your car registered at your building? Mm-hmm. So did you get a no? All right. So you realize that it's towed as soon as you figure it out, and you call the tow company, and they won't give it. They won't bargain with you. They won't negotiate with you. And then what do?
I go back to the leasing and I tell them 2 weeks later or a week later.
2 weeks or a week? What did you
Or
think
a
was
week.
going to happen during that time? It's accruing. The bill's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
This is
A
the second
tiny
time.
problem turned into a massive problem.
Right. So I go back again and go, can you please make a phone call or talk to higher management? I need my car. I really need my car.
Well, what do you think management was going to do?
I thought they were going to maybe make a phone call and tell them to give my car back or.
Well, what do you think he would do if management made a phone call and said, we'd like to bargain with you?
Yeah, something like that.
That's not going to work either. So that didn't work. And then what happens? You file suit against them because how much time? Did you ever pick up your car?
No.
Okay.
I just didn't have the money.
I know, I understand. It probably would have made more sense to borrow the extra $200 that you were short and get your car,
I was
right?
trying to.
Oh, you are not the kind of guy who can afford to park illegally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so now why does he have to give you $2,500?
Because they kept my car. They wouldn't give back. I mean, I got paperwork right here that they took it because it was abandoned. My vehicle was not abandoned.
Yeah, let me see all of your paperwork, and then let me talk to you, Mr. Gonzalez. What's the procedure?
We basically get a phone call to go pick up a vehicle either parked illegally or parked in somebody's reserved spot.
In this case, you actually got a text.
Yes, ma'am, from management.
Right. You know management sent them a text and said, tow this car, right?
They denied it.
I know, I'm sure, because they don't want to fight with you in the office, but let's see the text from management. And they're right to do so. I don't know why they don't just,
It's either management or
put their
security.
big boy pants on and say, yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they should say.
Yeah.
But that's not what they said to you. Hold on. Here's the tow authorization, which is a contract between you and the company to be their tow company. And then here's the text from them telling you
To remove the vehicle.
to remove the vehicle. Is that an actual picture of his vehicle?
Yes, ma'am. That's from them.
Okay.
And then we take our own pictures when we get there.
So when he comes to your lot, you don't speak to him that day, right?
No,
Who
ma'am.
speaks to him?
The dispatcher.
Okay. And there's no negotiation. And
We
then,
can't do that, yeah.
And then he just never picks up the car again, or does he ever call you? Do you ever talk to him, or you're the owner and no?
Yeah, I don't know the exact. I know they called once to get charges on it. From there on, I don't know what happened. There's
All
a
right.
few
So what
cars.
does your company do? What's the actual protocol? Because it's the law that you have to do when somebody doesn't pick up their car.
Technically, by law, we have to put a lien on the vehicle so we can notify either the lien holder or the registered owner.
Did you put a lien on the vehicle?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I have all the paperwork here
May I
as well.
see that paperwork?
Yes, ma'am. There's the DMV mailer with his name on it. And here's the lien notice.
Thank you, sir.
So you got the paperwork saying that, because it was sent right where you live, saying that, hey, this is a problem and we're going to end up having to sell your car. You knew they were selling your car.
Yeah, I knew they were selling my car.
All right, so how much did you sell the car for?
If I'm not mistaken, I think $1,000.
Okay. And was there anything left over after you sold the car and then paid yourself the storage?
No, ma'am. Usually it's about, I'd say about $2,800 after the 45 days that the vehicle sits there. After the 45th day.
How much are you charging for storage a day?
It's $65 a day. And after the 45th day, we could auction at the day of.
Mr. Vasquez, what did they do wrong?
Taking my car.
How was it wrong for them to take your car?
I live there. It's not
You were
a bad-
parked illegally, and the building called them, and they do their job, and you have admitted that you were parked illegally in the space that didn't belong to you.
They should put a they should put a warning.
That's a totally different issue. If you want your building to run differently, move to another building because you're renting. So if you want your building to run differently, make suggestions. That hey, you should put, and that's not a bad suggestion, but that's not how your building runs. Okay? You parked illegally, you got towed. That is the consequence of parking illegally. The only people who should be parking illegally are people who can afford the tow and storage bill when they figure out that their car has been towed 4 days later. That's the only people who should be parking illegally. Okay?
Welcome back to the People's Court. This all comes down to a question. Did the plaintiff have the right to park in the parking spot he parked in? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
The bottom line is you thought you'd fly under the radar because you knew the apartment was vacant, but you didn't fly under the radar. How is that something they did wrong? They got the text from the company, from the building, they towed, they did their job. And then they charge you what they charge you. That's the risk you ran. So for you to collect from someone in court, they have to have violated a duty to you and done something wrong. What did they do wrong?
Nothing.
Right. But it's good to see you, and I'm sorry you lost your car.
Good to
And
see
maybe
you.
this is a lesson for all those other viewers out there
Yes.
who are hoping to sneak under the radar. The radar is always on, and it goes all the way to the ground. There's no sneaking. Verdict
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
defendant. Don't you feel bad, though?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Like, how often does this happen that they just can't afford the other $200?
If they come the same day, it's not that bad.
Right.
If they come the first day, but he did wait 4 days. It
Well,
does
they took it
accumulate.
Saturday, it came Monday.
Yes.
That's not 4 days.
Yeah. The first day is only $370.
For the tow?
Yes.
No, I understand, but how often does it happen that the person just can't afford the other 2 days of storage and...
Maybe 10% of the business. Maybe 10, 15 cars a month.
Wow. All right. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
10 or 15 cars a month. Wow, you do a lot of towing. You're the only profession that people hate more than mine.
No.
Yeah.
Is the guy that sells the plots. He asks you, are they dead yet or are they alive?
Oh,
and if
jeez.
they're dead, it's more money.
So unfortunately for the plaintiff, it didn't turn out too well for him today. He lost. Let's see what he thinks. Mr. Vasquez, what's your reaction to what the judges ruled?
Well, I agree. I wasn't supposed to park there, and that's what happens when you don't follow the rules.
I know you're sorry you parked there. So what are you going to do now? You don't have a car, right?
Right. I don't.
Well, look, I'm awfully sorry for you, but nothing I can do. All right, now let's talk to Mr. Gonzalez. He's the defendant. I know you feel sorry for him, but you did your job, right?
Yes, sir.
$375 for that initial tow. That's pretty steep. At least it sounds like it to me. But
Yeah,
what do you think?
to run this business is very, very costly.
Any advice to anyone in his situation?
Yeah.
I guess just don't park there.
Park in the right spot, you'll never see me. That's
Okay.
it.
You're a nice guy, but don't want to see you. That's it.
it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
enough.
Have a great day.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, Harvey.
Doug, you can always go to court for sure, but in many states, these tow companies are regulated by a division sometimes of the Department of Consumer Affairs. If they're regulated and they're licensed, call the licensing agency. They may help you resolve it short of going to court.
Which daughter is the one your kids would say is your favorite? Ha!
Ooh, the one the kids would
The
say.
kids would
because
say
no daughter is our favorite.
No daughter is our favorite.
No. But if you ask the
Wait,
kids...
let me rephrase that. All of my daughters are my favorite.
Much better. I'm going to say that if you ask the kids, they'd say that the youngest, Sophia, the little one, is everybody's favorite. But what do you think?
I think that they whine that we're looser with her.
That's
we were
what I
more
mean,
permissive with her than we were.
You would think we beat the older two.
Right.
Daily. They would just flog them every day by the way they...
I think that they think that she gets away with murder and has
Right.
she's very high maintenance in a
Right.
way that because she's a baby.
Yeah.
But I also think that the older one is always Christy's always saying that Alex is everybody's favorite. And she says that because
That's our
everyone's
middle
nicer to Alex because Alex is nicer to everyone. Alex
Yeah.
is the nicest of
She's
my
like
3
nice
kids.
24/7.
She is. She's nice 24/7. She's never
true.
hard to handle.
Right.
So and everybody says that, including the other kids. So
Right.
so they say, oh well, you're easier. And I'm not easier on her. She just doesn't have the same
Yeah,
conflict.
but I think generally, don't you think the youngest, the last kid to come along, whether you have 2 kids or you have 12 kids, is the one who the parents kind of dote on a little bit? And the
No.
perception, rightly or wrongly, is the little one gets away with murder.
Yes, that's the
little
perception.
one,
And
you
she's
know,
right about
gets
that,
to do
actually.
stuff I didn't get to do.
I mean, I used to be really strict with
Right.
my first, and then by the time the last one came, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that is it. That is, especially when you have more, when you have
Right.
3 children, you can really see the progression of that.
Right.
So Christy's right about that, and she's almost 30 and still won't get over it,
Right.
because she complains about that a lot. But
Well, 3 kids. Do you ever wish we had a 4th?
I do. I would if I wasn't just so darn old and busy by the time I had my 3rd, because I was 40
Right,
already.
right.
So, but I should have had. I feel like it was incomplete. Like I needed just one more, and we
Yeah.
wouldn't know what to do with a boy. So,
It's not that hard to find a table for 6.
right,
really
a table
hard
for
to
the
find
world
one for
was
7.
not made for 5.
No, no. it really
Right.
isn't.